I started witnessing at a place called Tornillo in West Texas, a child's detention center. I came up with the idea of going there, and I rented an RV and I stayed there for 3 months. I believe that this is the 38th day of witnessing in Brownsville. We've been doing this a few weeks because of what we found out, and that is that deportation flights are happening regularly from the Brownsville airport. So we've been getting up early because we became aware that those flights often happen in the pre-dawn light here. When people are not seen and they're in danger, they can be forgotten, they can be lost.
There's one on the way from San Antonio. Comes here and then goes to Guatemala from
And that's
here.
at 7:30 or so?
Yeah, it leaves at 7:30.
Okay, let me take a look. Using an app that's anybody can get on their iPhone, we track the flights of Swift Air and World Atlantic. Those are the two companies that are making a hell of a lot of money working for ICE. We've learned recently that the fate of people who are returned to the places that they flee. There's an article about people returned to El Salvador and 138 men murdered when they were returned. We realize that these flights are not just deportation flights, they are, well, I guess you'd have to say genocidal flights, because we know, we have the information that people are being killed when they get there. Since we found out about them, we've been coming out almost every day to see the buses come in full of people, to see the shackled people. Watch under that plane there. You'll see chains being laid out. All of their possessions are in clear plastic bags. So there's kind of an assembly line of people digging through those bags and doing something with the possessions. Somebody out in El Paso, who we know, who's been tracking planes for a while, came across these flights and recommended that we see if we could get there. In El Paso at the airport, it's impossible to actually witness the planes. It's a bigger airport. This one's small enough so that we were able to actually see the process. They've made it harder for us now. They turn the plane around and they do all kinds of things to keep us from seeing. We don't want them to block us. We want them to be a little stealthy here, so we don't want that, okay? So we're trying to sneak.
As soon as they see that, they'll pull something in front and block where we are. So the idea here is to keep moving enough and not to draw attention in certain places so that when they block one place, we have a shot at getting somewhere else to get some kind of a view. So there's another place that's a little farther down that might actually, with a telephoto lens, is really good, where it would be straight on to the plane, so you'd actually be able to see people walking up the ramp.
You have a vantage point here?
Right.
Yep, we do.
Yeah, right through there. They're being frisked before they, right after they get off the bus, and then they're being taken and they're walking up the steps in those shackles with no help. And at the same time, they're trying to block us from view. You can see all the vehicles out and around there. They do the men first loading. That's who's loading onto the plane now.
The very first time that I came to watch these people be loaded onto these planes, I started to count. And once I started counting, I couldn't stop. And it was like I needed to mark every single one and let people know that every single one of them was seen. God.
There's something painfully sad about watching people walking with their heads down like that. 40 per bus or so, you say? Yeah. The last people they usually put on are the women. One woman in red, another woman with long dark hair. They're in chains, they're in shackles. They're going up the steps. They're frisking her. We think that if people see this, their hearts will break. Our hearts are breaking. We think if they see that, we might be able to stop this. That it might change some policy, it might change some hearts. It's our only hope. It's not much of a hope, I gotta tell you, but it's what we do.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.